At least for 6 months,
6 months.
with Mother Teresa
Yes.
on this program for slums.
Yes, slums.
For the people who were left to die on the streets.
Yeah.
So that was the time when Mother Teresa collected the people who were dying on the streets.
And take them to a place which is not very far from Calcutta. In the surroundings of Calcutta, she had a special place where she had her volunteer nurses, sisters, who used to take care of them there. And then finally, they used to pass away, and she used to bury them or get them
with
cremated.
dignity from the street,
Yes.
where they suffered a great deal.
Absolutely.
So they were cleaned there, they were
Being
taken
washed,
care of,
everything.
they were loved at their last moments. And how do you remember this time when you worked with her in slums?
Every moment I could see a sense of compassion. There was, irrespective of what condition the child was, and the first thing is that she used to hug and love. Her main thing was to give love to the people who she came in touch with, and that was the greatest. In spite of whether they were dirty, whether they were naked, or whether they were sick. And I've seen her even removing maggots from people's
I've seen
legs.
that.
And at the first instance, I just couldn't sort of do it, but then we got used to it.
Oh, even you did it?
I did it for some time, not for very long, but then the volunteer nurses used to take over.
Okay.
But
despite of the place, of the religion, of everything, she just loved
absolutely.
all
She gave herself soul, body into that human being.
all the people who were not loved, who were left alone, all the children who were left alone.
Sorry, Andy. Hello?
Remember Mother Teresa? What was she like?
She was a diminutive person. She was very small, and whenever I worked with Mother Teresa, I used to see her hands always folded like we fold our hands to pray, and extremely soft-spoken. And whether it was Christian, Muslim, Hindu, she used to catch their hands and speak. Never leave them alone, in the sense that keep giving them compassion and love. And of course, within that, she used to talk about the ministry of Christ. Every person, she said that, Jesus loved him.
Amen.
Jesus loved him. And sign of the cross. I remember when I met her and I spoke to her, and I said I'm doing this kind of work.
She hugged you?
She hugged me.
Yeah.
And if you're not emotional, and every person has a sense of emotion, you will have tears coming very naturally.
She said such a words one day that everyone, despite of their religion, will become a better person, a better Christian, a better Muslim, a better Buddhist, when they will believe and they will take care of properly. What was the most important lessons for you which you learned from Mother Teresa?
The acceptance of human beings as they are.
The most important thing.
Yeah. To accept. It's very difficult for us to accept, when we see anybody immediately or we get lonely. I mean, we always start calculating in our heads. Leave that. Just accept them as they are. I mean, it's a very easy way to say it, but it's a very difficult way to implement.
There's so much love to just accept.
And somewhere in the projects I work, especially with these people, that maybe with working with her, or maybe because of my nature, I hug. I bring them together, and they make it much easier. People open up. To many, I think that is kind of a different gesture, but to me, I think it comes very naturally now.
The language doesn't matter. If we have open heart, people feel that.
Yeah. this lady who I respect in this project tasting, I meet her every day when I go for my morning walks. I normally take a walk down, and she picks rags and paper. The first thing she does is that she comes and holds you and says, how are you, and how do you feel today? So that's itself makes you feel half good, you know.
When you think about Mother Teresa testimony, about her heritage, everything, what she did, what should today be a great inspiration for young generation, what should be the main meaning of her work, what do you think? What should you like to say to young people these days who should be still with us here on earth?
I think young people who have burning instincts of doing work for the poorest of the poor should actually open up and come and do it, instead of keeping it innate within them. You see, there are a lot of young children in our schools, wherever they are. We've always told by our people is that you need to become a doctor, or you need to become an engineer, you need to become there is some need inside them which needs to be brought out and say, I want to work for it, I want to do something for this situation to make a difference. And I think that message she sent very clearly to the younger generation. Irrespective of what you feel, do it.
You don't have to be so well prepared, you don't have to wait for the right moment. And always there's something which we can give for other people. You mentioned this love, this acceptance, this heart, this small help. And she said so much about this little act of kindness.
Kindness, yes. I mean, there was so much of things which used to come and still comes to Mother Teresa's unit. And there are people who also misuse that. You know, I'll be very honest with you. There are people also who misuse that. But,
and misunderstand her mission these days. That is why I ask you, this compassion, this acceptance for other human beings as they are, with their beliefs, with their religion, with everything. She was the definition of this acceptance. And I think that people misunderstood this sacrifice these days.
You can't find I mean, probably there are Mother Teresas in the making, but there is her love and affection and compassion with all the sisters and all the people who work with her.
Yes,
that she's left behind. She's incredible.
About the poorest, the people from the slums, but for Mother Teresa also children were very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, if you, she is opened, she has a big unit for unwedded mothers who don't want their children and come and leave at the doorstep and go away. Those children also she took over and started picking up them and giving them opportunities.
So many children were under her care.
And I think her concept of opening the Sisters of Charity all over has been one of the key examples of how she can take in more and more and more human beings, children, women into this world. So all over the world there's Sisters of Charity, you know that.
Yes.
So in Poland also there is.
When we yesterday met the sisters and children who were left alone, the sisters take care of the children, of the healthy children, but also those who have many different diseases or genetic problems. And they have so much compassion and love for these children, so much understanding. And just a few sisters take all their energy and time to serve these children and to create a special place for them, like home.
I think it's important to also look at Mother Teresa with her entire team, you know, because most all of them have given themselves and committed themselves.
Because that was
It's
her
not very
mission.
easy. It's not a very easy to say that, you know, I'd like to work for Mother Teresa and keep two divisions. One is to work with her and one would be by yourself and do what you want to do. But they've given themselves up for the whole commitment of
And so many years later, right now, sisters still have the same mission, and still they serve those who live in slums, those who are the poorest ones, those who are dying, children who are left alone, abandoned. So it shows such a strength of this community which she created, that they are so committed to the same principles, the same values. Nothing have changed since she passed away. She's still with us.
And I think it's appropriate to say that, you know, that she was taken to a different level of sainthood. I mean, and that was a tribute, that was an attribute that was necessary for Mother Teresa to become, because now she is a saint now, and many people who believe in her as the medium of Christ, the medium of Mary,
And
the
the
medium
symbol,
symbol of religion, you know.
exactly, and the symbol that serving others is something
Serving others,
important.
absolutely right.
She said that her mission was to be among the poorest.
Yes, that was true, absolutely.
Even the clothes which she created, the sari, was done from the materials used by the poorest,
Yes.
the most raw materials.
You see this color which has been on every place you see, the new
Yes.
Prime Minister,
The
the blue and the white.
white.
You see the blue and the white, whatever is taken away from Mother Teresa's
Blue and white.
blue and white. That's the symbol of the present political party.
Mamta Banerjee.
Mamta Banerjee. Yeah. It's always Mother Teresa's color.
Such a small, delicate, humble woman.
Yeah. Her place of stay was hardly our weight. That's all. One bed, a pillow, and that even no mattress. She never slept on a mattress. Slept on this hard surface, except for probably winter. She had a blanket. That was her room. That was everything. That was her prayer room also.
Mamta Banerjee also wears white sari.
Yeah, she
na?
also wears white and that blue. Right. Lovely talking to you, and nice knowing your heart. Thank you. I thank ma'am for that.
For me, it's
This has been a
blessing and discovery to listen
yeah,
to you and your mission.
I don't know. Ma'am has brought us to you. It's God's will. I believe, ma'am. So thank you, ma'am, for bringing Angela and
I am thankful.
it's just to express yourself. That's all. What you feel, you know, and that leaves a long-lasting feeling within.
Oh, the interview is done.
Yeah,
So
thank you
much.
so much. Thank you so much for coming.
So your interview is also done.
I'm nobody. I tell you, I just want to do the work and get out.
No,
That's all.
don't say so. For me, such a people are like you
No,
are.
no,
are
don't
really
say that
heroes.
because no, please.
Yes,
There are
because
thousands
you
of
see,
people doing
you
that.
showed me so many beautiful things which are the symbol of love of Mother Teresa, and she became such an inspiration. And there is nothing more powerful in this world than being an inspiration of making good for the others. If you can,
Blessing ministry.
if
That's
you can change the life of these children and these women, and change their hearts as you do, and they look at you with such a love, with such a gratefulness. This is all what needs to be done, nothing more. That's all. Mother Teresa said that she was not destined to be successful, but she was destined to be faithful. And that is all what we should all do.
so many people are doing so many things in their own ways, in the sense that making a difference.
So these children which we saw today, they are from the age of 3 till the age of 6.
Yeah.
How long they will still?
6 to 14 we educate them, and then we put them into the government schools.
And that is the goal, to prepare them for the government school. So these children which we saw at least will stay for...
Well, at least 5 years they should be with us. And within that we have a lot of girl child. Girl child is also a very important focus, because the girl child is always given second preference. In India, of course, in comparison now it's better, but that's our focus, that they get an opportunity. These small girl children are so susceptible to being trafficked, not only for their own body, for various other ways, for either their organs or for slavery,